So let's take a minute. You got your job at Amazon when you graduated from college. The money was good. In fact, it was really good. The projects stretch what you learned in school. It was an exciting time. We spend our 20s working our way up, slogging it out for the extra bit of responsibility, money, fancy sounding title. But when 30 comes knocking on your door, chances are you've changed. Your goals and aspirations have moved to a completely different place and direction. You're no longer that 21-year-old bright and enthusiastic about the world. You're a little bit more seasoned. You know what it's like to be pushed, and you know what it's like to push yourself to get where you want. You have this growing sense that making more money for the richest man on earth just didn't have much meaning for you. And you can't stop thinking about packing it all in and trying a career change as you look at 30 staring you back in the face. This is G.H. Glade for Coaching ADD. And I want you to trust me, you're not alone. It's a really common thing to experience. And yes, it might feel a bit scary to switch things up. You think about what you will leave, and you think about the people you'll leave because you've grown attached to them. And then you come to the conclusion that a golden handcuff is still a handcuff. So, how should you think about career change? Well, first things first, you have to know what you want, and this part can be really tough. It can be easy to get fed up with your current routine and think a huge life overhaul will be the answer to all your problems. But if you're not 100% about making that move, then it's likely things won't turn out exactly as you hoped. There are some steps to take. One of the suggestions I like to make is watching a TED Talk by a fellow by the name of Simon Sinek on the power of why. He has a book by the same name. And I think it's important to think about what is behind why you want to do particular things. And it can be a guide in terms of career change or choices. The step 2 is just take a deep breath and pause and do some thinking. Think about what's right with your job. What aren't you happy with in your current career that will provide a great basis for looking for the right kind of changes? Making a list of what you would like your life to look and feel like in the next 5 years, and what you have and where you want to be gives you some clear objectives. Swapping careers without some serious thinking and choosing can be a disaster. There was a time where I was not satisfied with what I was making as a master's prepared therapist. I had to budget for a pair of jeans, and the writing was on the wall that when my own child might be of an age where he would want some college, I wouldn't be able to really tangibly support him. And I became an investment broker and, study hard and passed a really tough exam on the first try. Not by much, but I passed. 2/3 fail on the first shot, so I felt pretty good about just passing. And I hated it. It was very early in that career that I realized I had nothing in common with the people I was working with. Their goals, values, aspirations were very different than mine. And I also saw that because I live on the West Coast and the market opens on the East Coast, that I would have really long days. And because I didn't come from a financial background, I would never be anything more than somebody in the trenches selling various issues that my manager told me to sell. And so that left me getting out of it. And one of the things that I ignored, and much to my it was a big waste of time, was something called the occupational interest battery. It is built on the premise that people who find enjoyment and satisfaction in a particular career have a lot of similarities. And what the testing indicated was healthcare was the right venue for me. I had liked the game board aspect of investing, and I learned a lot, but I went in a direction that was not suggested and absolutely hated it. Now this comes back to Simon Sinek's TED Talk. Are you driven by money or material success? What environment works best for you? Do you favor pay or job satisfaction? Once you have some answers, you'll get an idea of what direction you want to go in. You need to understand your strengths and your motivation and fit. Strengths. Make a note of what you enjoy and what makes you thrive and what energizes you. Motivation. What would you do if you did it for free? That you like so much that you really didn't need to get paid to do it? Fit. What do you want your day to be like? Indoors, outdoors, working on your own, working on a big team. Does purpose matter? Does the end result matter? Imagine your perfect day at work. I'll include a link at the end of the video for a video I did on job choice for people with ADD. That might be helpful as well. How to find a role that's right for you. Now that you have a notion of what the perfect working day looks like, now what? I know you want to shake things up, but you're not sure what job fits your fantasy. What do? Finding the right role doesn't need to be difficult. Make a list of key things you want in your new career, and then check job ads. Look for different sectors. Highlight the words, the elements that appeal to you, not the things that really turn you off. Talk to friends. Ask them what they like about their careers. Check out LinkedIn. Do some internet research. Ask your friends for 5 jobs they think you would enjoy or you'd be great for. Well, I want to just take a minute to ask you to give this video a like. I am trying to expand this platform. It helps in the YouTube algorithm. But most of all, I hope you pass this along to other people, because my goal is just plain to help people. And passing the word along does that very thing. So you can be a contributor in that whole process. So let's return to the practical. Prepare your finances. You need to build a runway. Now, with the virus pandemic, many people are using their savings, and they're doing it just to survive. And I have become a believer in always having that financial runway, because when there were circumstances that were beyond my control, I needed that. The day I graduated from nursing school, I was involved in a permanent reduction in force from the hospital I'd worked at for 15 years. I applied to work as an RN in the same unit where I had been teaching nursing students. I was told I had no nursing experience and they didn't hire me, but they did hire someone from outside, someone who had a little bit of experience, but not the depth of experience I had. I was panicked. I had a family and a mortgage to support, and that led down an interesting career path. Tally your expenses. What will it take for you to live for the next 6 months or a year? And we're talking not buying new clothes or going out to dinner or your usual lifestyle. We're talking survival here. It's great if you find something quickly, but what if you don't? I have clients of mine who have been unemployed for a year, and these are professionals. These are people who really, they have skills. Don't rush. Take your time. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of changing careers, so much so that you take any offer that comes your way. You may even feel as though you need to juggle 2 jobs at once until you feel secure in a new career. But should you cut off, take a break, and start completely fresh? or should you keep your options open? This really depends on what kind of career change choice that you're looking at. If you decide to start a business of your own, it might be something you pour your energy into after you finish your day job. It may be the typical side gig. I'm going to recommend a book called Side Hustle by a fellow by the name of Chris Guillebeau. The whole title is Side Hustle: From Idea to Income in 27 Days. He is a very practical writer, and he has a series of books on this subject. He is a person I consider an expert, and you'll find those recommendations in my book for people just trying to survive. It is a good reference book when you're thinking about career change. And lots of people have started a side gig it's grown into their main gig. And this is not a bad pathway to career change. It's the classic not putting all your eggs in one basket approach. The riskiest move is to make a total abrupt shift. You can work your current job and figure out your next career action steps at the same time. When you're happy with your decision, then you can move on. Now, something that is really essential: networking. And I'll say it again, you want to network, network, network. Never underestimate the power of networking. A lot of time you'll hear about positions from people you know, and if you have a professional relationship with that person, they're more likely to pass your details on to prospective employers. I'm going to recommend a free course. Yes, I did say free, by the creator of the Jordan Harbinger Show. Yes, Jordan Harbinger. This is a course, and I know this is a strong recommendation that everybody should take. Jordan is a master of networking, and he breaks it down into reasonable steps and how to do it effectively. My job in the emergency room was a result of networking. I got recruited for that job. Every job I have had since I graduated with my master's in nursing was one that came to me as a result of networking. I have taken Jordan's course and I use it. It is excellent. And, he's just simply the best at it. And I recommend you go to his course, and it's free. And the other thing, he has a really interesting podcast. He's turned into just an extraordinarily good interviewer. And I recommend it on that basis too. Finally, make sure it's exactly what you want. Still not sure whether to take the leap? Make sure you're 100% invested in career change to save yourself time, money, and stress. Try to sample the waters before jumping in. There are some steps with that too. Find people, organizations, or bodies that are in this field and talk to them. Set up informational interviews. Try and take people out for coffee or lunch. See if you can shadow people. Read articles or publications for that particular sector and see what's happening in that area. Research as much as you can and assess against the criteria that you've identified from your analysis of what you've done in your own career so far. So, how does this career match my motivations and lifestyle? Does it? That's a consideration. Can you get a mentor in this field? And oftentimes mentors are not people who officially have that designation. Let's say you want to start your own business. Check yourself against the characteristics needed to do that. Do you have the drive, the motivation, the resources, the skills, and most of all, the resilience? Not everyone should start their own business. What is more important for you, security or autonomy? Working for yourself is likely the hardest, most time-consuming work you will ever do. Some final thoughts from my own experience of doing it wrong. Don't act impulsively. This is a seriously important decision that is so much more than what you'll do for a living. It is about your whole life and your well-being and the well-being of those who depend on you. It deserves a lot of thought. Change equates to risk. Can you handle the worst case scenario? As long as you can support yourself and those who depend on you, it is a chance to feed your passion, to do what brings you joy. Being someone who has made this choice, I think of things in terms of, I get to go to work. I don't have to go to work. I don't have to go to work anymore. It's great, but I choose to go to work. Hell, I enjoy what I do, and that's why I continue to do it. I've worked in situations where my contributions just weren't valued. I was an investment broker, and it was an industry that I had no connection with people, and it frankly didn't match my values. And that was some real misery, and I strongly encourage you not to repeat my mistakes. So this has been G.H. Glade from Coaching ADD, and I hope you'll return. Thank you for lending me your ears for the past period of time. And I'll see you again on Monday when I launch another episode. Take care and have a great day.